My neighbor accused me of ruining her son's life by rejecting him. At her son's birthday party, I showed everyone texts where she begged me to date him so he'd finally grow up. Her jaw dropped. I moved into my house about 8 months ago. My neighbor Victoria seemed super nice at first. She'd bring over homemade cookies, wave hello when I was in my garden, and generally acted like the sweet neighbor everyone wants. Looking back, I should have noticed how every conversation somehow turned to her son, Nathan. It started subtly. "Oh, Nathan loves those flowers you're planting." Or, "Nathan was just saying how nice it is to have a young person in the neighborhood." I'd smile and nod, not thinking much of it. Then came the not-so-subtle hints. "You know, Nathan's single," followed by detailed descriptions of his wonderful qualities. Here's the thing about Nathan. He lives in Victoria's basement, spends most of his time gaming. I can hear him yelling at his computer through my bedroom wall at 3 a.m., and hasn't held a job in 2 years. Not that there's anything wrong with gaming, but when your mom has to bring you meals in the basement because you won't come up for dinner, that's something else. Victoria's matchmaking attempts got more aggressive over time. She'd, accidentally, send Nathan out to get the mail when I was coming home. She'd invite me over for coffee when she knew he'd be having his late breakfast at 2 p.m. I kept making excuses, trying to be polite because, well, they're my neighbors. Then the texts started. Victoria got my number from the neighborhood directory and began sending me messages about Nathan. At first, they were casual. Nathan mentioned he'd love to know what games you play, but they quickly evolved into something more desperate. Some gems from my saved screenshots. "Nathan needs a good woman like you to motivate him. He's such a sweet boy, just a late bloomer. I'll pay for all your dates. He just needs someone to push him in the right direction. Please give him a chance. I'll help with a down payment on a house if you date him. He listens to pretty girls more than his mother." I kept rejecting her politely, but firmly. This made Victoria angry. She started telling neighbors I'd been leading Nathan on, and breaking his heart. The thing is, I'd barely exchanged 10 words with Nathan directly. The most interaction we'd had was awkward waves when Victoria practically shoved him into my path. Last week, I got an invitation to Nathan's birthday party. I wasn't going to go, but then I heard Victoria telling another neighbor that I owed it to Nathan to at least show up after playing with his feelings. That was it. I decided to go, but not for the reasons Victoria wanted. I spent the week preparing. I printed out all her texts, including the ones offering money and a house in exchange for dating Nathan. I also had screenshots of her messages to mutual friends calling me a heartless tease and cruel girl for rejecting her precious son. The party was yesterday. Victoria had invited the whole neighborhood. When I walked in, she gave me this smug look, like she'd won something. During the cake, she clinked her glass and started this dramatic speech about how some people had hurt Nathan deeply this year, looking directly at me the whole time. That was my cue. I stood up and said, "Speaking of hurting Nathan, I think everyone should see these." I started passing out copies of the texts. Victoria's face went from smug to shocked to horrified. Nathan, who apparently had no idea about any of this, grabbed one of the papers and started reading. Then Nathan exploded. Not at me, at Victoria. Turns out she'd been telling him I was interested but shy, and that's why she kept pushing him to try harder. He had no idea she'd been offering me money or a house to date him. He started yelling about how she'd been controlling his life, and how embarrassing this all was. Victoria tried to play it off as a mother's love, but the damage was done. Nathan's cousin Leo actually burst out laughing and said, "Aunt Vicky, this is a new low, even for you." The party dissolved into chaos. Victoria ran to her room crying. Nathan apologized to me profusely, saying he had no idea about any of it. Apparently this wasn't the first time Victoria had tried to help him by meddling in his life. Today, Victoria's car has been gone all day, and the house is quiet. Nathan's cousin Leo texted me, he got my number from the party, to say that Nathan's finally looking for his own apartment. He said Victoria's been pulling stunts like this for years, but this was the wake-up call Nathan needed.